This drill is combining 9-3 foursquare and 9-3 motorcycle. Many golfers need to work on their face-to-path relationship, and when they do, they tend to lose the path. So one of the most common things that I see is golfers come in, let's say, with a club face that's wide open, kind of like this, with not a whole lot of shaft rotation and a little bit from the outside. And they hit weak shots, but straight shots, and with the driver it fades, and they don't like how far it goes or how consistently they are. One of the first things that we need to work on is shaft rotation, getting the club face square to the path. So after they've learned to read feedback, they say, all right, I can see that the club face is open to the path. I need to get that more closed. And then what they'll do is they will try to do the motorcycle move, but frequently they will steepen the path like this in order to close the face. And now they hit these massive pulls. So frequently what I do is while they're doing the shaft rotation or working on the motorcycle, I'll just create the visual of foursquare. So we won't get into any of the details of how they can shallow it out or get the club to swing more in to out, but I'll explain to them that when they close the face, if the path stayed out to the left, they're gonna hit big pulls. So they have to shallow it out a little bit more. Well, everything that shallows the club tends to open the face. So that puts a higher priority on now doing that shaft rotation and doing that motorcycle movement. So what I've done here, I've taken the spray paint and drawn foursquare there. Normally I just use a T and mark it in the ground, but you should be able to see that. And then I'll usually start golfers with the ball teed up right in the center of it. But I'll take away the ball. I should say this is the first step I do before I put the ball there and tee it up. I'll have them go back to that 9 o'clock position, close the club face, and then try to get the club to brush the ground going from square number 1 to square number 3. So basically back to here, close the club face, brush through there, and then check in the finish position to make sure that it stayed close. So this forces them to pay attention to the path while focusing on the club face. When they do them together, it'll look something like close the club face, little on the toe, little bit of a pull, so I probably was straight and then into box 4, not quite enough 1 to 3. But it allows me to figure out what I need to work on. It gives me a little bit better feedback than just doing, that was better there. So it gives me more feedback than just doing the 9 to 3 with the motorcycle. Those two skills have to go hand in hand, because if you change your face-to-path relationship, your path will have to adjust as well. This is a great way to work on it, combining 9 to 3s or going into full swings, but using the motorcycle with some type of path alignment like either the foursquare or the bowling alleys. I really prefer doing 9 to 3 in combination with the foursquare. All right, here we have the close-up view. So again, I'll normally just do this by carving a line like that, like I showed in the foursquare drill, but here we've got the spray paint to make that a little bit easier. I'm gonna work on trying to get the club face closed, but closed coming from here. Golfers tend to either come from the inside with it open or come from the outside with it closed. It takes a little bit of training and getting used to coming from the inside while still having it closed. So you get set up. You can do this either off the ground or on the tee. I usually prefer starting on the tee, but we'll go for it. So you're gonna go 9 o'clock, close the club face, swinging through so that it launches pretty straight even though the club face stayed closed. You can then work this pattern up to fuller and fuller swings. So we can do a little 3/4, close the club face. So that one, the ball launched left. So now I'll get the club face set, and then I'll shift my focus more to the path. So club face closed. That one was much better in terms of ball flight, started a little right and then drew back. But this is a great way to work on combining the face and path. You just visualize the path and you focus on the feel of the club face, and together it allows you to get good feedback while you're putting in reps.